Alright, so today we'll be starting off with the continuation of osmosis. We had done half of osmosis, so now we'll continue off osmosis in plant cells. Now, in plant cells, there is an additional cell wall, right, that affects a lot of things differently than what osmosis takes place in animal cells. So, for example, um, when I've made the plant cell, this, for example, we're considering this as a cell wall and this as a cell membrane. So this is just the wall of the cell wall, and then this is a cell membrane that can shrink out, right? Um, so there's 40% solute in the vacuole, which in turn means that the solute potential of the vacuole is -4, right, as we've studied in the last video. And there's 10% solute outside and -1 solute potential, which means the water molecules will travel from outside to the inside of the cell, which will increase the cell size. As we can see right here, it'll not increase the size because the cell wall is present, right? However, it will push on the cell membrane, right, like this pushing of the vacuole, while it expands, because it's getting water inside of it, because water is coming inside of the vacuole. When it expands because of Sturger pressure. uh, so for example, water came inside and dropped the the solute potential from -4 to -3. It decreased the solute potential instead, right? So however, we see alongside trigger pressure there is this pressure as well, right? This pressure, this is the pressure that the wall exerts back, and this is what is used as a pressure potential. So as we've learned pressure potential in the last video, the trigger pressure is applied by vacuole, and the pressure potential is applied by the wall pressure, right? So if I show you in terms right here, in A, which is this case, right, this is A, the outside solution, and the inside one, the inside the vacuole, is B. So A is water potential of -1, right, because water potential and solute potential are essentially the same thing. In B, however, the water potential is equals to the solute potential plus the pressure potential. So solute potential is -3, the pressure potential is +2, so it balances out. It becomes -1, which is also outside, right? So moving on, as we see right here, for example, outside it's 0, the water potential, which means it's distilled water, and inside it's 30% solute, and which means -3 solute potential, and the pressure potential given here is +2. As a result, the water potential is -1, because -3 plus 2 is equals -1, right? So when the water comes inside, this is what happens. The solute is balanced out, and it's 20% solute. As a result, the solute potential is -2, the pressure potential is 2, and the water potential becomes 0. As a result, this is 0 and this is 0. It's balanced out because of pressure potential applied by the walls and trigger pressure applied by the vacuole on the walls. Now moving on, we have to go to turgidity. Turgidity is one of the biggest things in osmosis in plant cells. It's turgidity and plasmolysis. So first we'll be studying turgidity. That's what I've explained right here. This is all turgidity. So a plant cell is placed in a solution which has higher water potential compared to the inside, and that's what we saw everywhere. There is more water potential outside right here, there is more water potential outside right here compared to the vacuole. As a result, the net movement of water molecules into the cell takes place, which we can relate to. Vacuole as a result increases in its size and it pushes. This pushing is done due to trigger pressure applied by the vacuole on the walls, and the cell is thus called turgid because of this trigger pressure applied on the walls. Now, cells, as I mentioned, plant cells, these are only for plant cells. Plant cells don't burst because of the cell wall, which applies a wall pressure. And this wall pressure that I just showed is opposing a trigger pressure. So, this wall pressure is the pressure potential, right? The value of the pressure potential. Now, a fully turgid cell, as I showed you right now, is placed in distilled water where the outside solution water potential is 0, and the value of pressure potential is always equal and opposite to the solute potential. So, as a result, if solute potential is -2, the pressure potential applied will be +2, which will make it 0. As a result, this 0 will balance out the 0 of the outside solution, which is distilled, right? That's what it mentions right here, equal and opposite. So the overall value of the water potential becomes 0, equalizing outside. The next thing is plasmolysis, as I mentioned. Plasmolysis is when the water potential of the inside is greater than outside, as we can see in this case. As a result, water loss occurs from the internal to the external part of the cell. Now, what happens in this case is the cell membrane alongside the cytoplasm, it shrinks. So this is just the cell wall. All of this is cell wall, right? This thing that's shrunk is the cell membrane with the cytoplasm, right? And it keeps and it shrinks. It starts shrinking. It increases slowly because water is being lost outside, and this is what it looks like in the end. A lot of it has shrunk and only this part of the cell remains. Moving on, we have to learn about the plasmolyzed cell, the detailed explanation. So plant cell is placed in a lower water potential than inside. As a result, the net movement of water molecules occurs out of the cell and the whole protoplast shrinks. Now, what a protoplast is, it is the complete plant cell other than the cell wall. So, cell wall, everything except the cell wall is protoplast, right? So the complete protoplast shrinks and the cell thus becomes plasmolyzed. We call the cell becoming plasmolyzed. Now, if the external solution is more negative, right, which means the solute potential, the external solution more negative solute potential, right? So which means -5 is more negative than -1, right? Cell becomes more and more plasmolyzed. The plasmolysis increases with the negativity of the solute potential. In a plasmolyzed plant cell, the pressure potential is always 0 because pressure potential is not applied. The gap, because this is not applied because there is no turgor pressure, so there is nothing to be opposed. The gap between the cell membrane and the cell wall is filled by the solution externally present. So I'll just show you this gap. We're talking about this gap right here, this gap right here. It's filled by the external solution that is present outside of the cell, right? Now the last thing that we have to learn for today is incipient plasmolysis. This is a small thing. It is the point at which plasmolysis begins, and thus the value of pressure potential is 0. So the exact point at which plasmolysis begins and pressure potential can no longer be applied because no turgor pressure is being applied. And this is achieved when the cell is placed in exactly the same solute potential as inside. So for example, we have a cell and there's a vacuole inside. It has a solute potential of -2, and the one